azeotropic mixtures. These are also named as azeotropic mixtures, also named as constant boiling mixtures. It is not constant boiling liquid. A liquid has a fixed boiling point. It never changes. For example, if you consider water, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees always whenever it is in pure state. So ethyl alcohol boiling point 78 degrees centigrade. So boiling point of liquids are unchanged always, right? Okay. This is a mixture, that is for binary mixture. Azeotropic mixture means constant boiling mixture. That means if that mixture is distilled means heating, is distilled, then the mixture does not separate. That mixture is called azeotropic mixture, constant boiling mixture. Generally, if there are two liquids, we learned in junior intermediate, say ethyl alcohol and water. Water boiling point is 100 degrees centigrade. Ethyl alcohol boiling point is nearly 78 degrees centigrade. When these two are mixed in a beaker, if it is heated, first ethyl alcohol evaporates because the boiling point of ethyl alcohol is less, so it evaporates easily. It goes off. We can collect this ethyl alcohol in the other way. That means by the condensation of vapor, ethyl alcohol gets in the liquid state, leaving water in the beaker. So ethyl alcohol and water can be separated by distillation. Why? Because they differ in the boiling point. If we consider this mixture, that is azeotropic mixture, that mixture cannot be separated by heating and by cooling. That means by distillation, that mixture cannot be separated. That is the important point we have to understand. At a particular composition. Now look at this example. Ethyl alcohol, 95% by volume, and remaining H2O, 5% by volume. This boiling point, individual boiling point of ethyl alcohol is nearly 78 degrees centigrade. And this is water, 100 degrees centigrade. Water, 100 degrees centigrade. If this mixture is heated, this will not evaporate. And both water and ethyl alcohol together evaporate and together condense. That means with the help of distillation, this mixture never be separated. If we consider 60% ethyl alcohol and 40% water, in such a case can be separated. Other than this composition, if you take any percentage, that means this may be 10% alcohol, 90% water, or you take any combination, or except this percentage, remaining all percentages can be separated by the distillation. That means they are separated easily. But this mixture cannot be separated. This mixture evaporates at the same time, condensation at the same time. That mixture is called azeotropic mixture. Because this is a liquid, this is also a liquid, a binary liquid mixture. A binary liquid mixture, which is explained by the Raoult's law. So this is a simple examples of that is a azeotropic mixture. There are two types of azeotropes: low boiling point azeotrope and high boiling point azeotropes. Two types of azeotropic mixtures. Minimum boiling point mixture, maximum boiling point mixture. Because the distillation is related to the boiling point. Consider this example: H2O and ethyl alcohol. I told you just now. This is 5%. This is 95%. This percentage you have to remember. This mixture will boil below the temperature of water and ethyl alcohol. What is the boiling point of ethyl alcohol? I told you 78. What is the boiling point of water? 100 degrees. But if this mixture boils below the temperature of these two, why? Because it shows the negative deviation or positive deviation. This mixture shows a positive deviation. That means vapor pressure will be increasing. As a result, boiling point is decreasing. So this mixture, that is water and ethyl alcohol, is an example of positive deviation. Positive deviation mixture. So vapor pressure, positive deviation in terms of vapor pressure. In terms of vapor pressure. I told you in the yesterday class. If it is having vapor pressure higher, what happens to the boiling point? It decreases. So this mixture will boil at the temperature below than the boiling point of constituent liquids. What is the meaning of this? The boiling point of water is 100, we know. The boiling point of ethyl alcohol is 78. If this mixture is taken, the boiling point of the mixture should be less than 78 because 100 is the maximum. In this, 78 is the least. Look at this. The mixture will boil at the temperature below the boiling point of constituent liquids. So the lowest boiling point of these two liquids is ethyl alcohol. So this mixture will boil below the boiling point of ethyl alcohol, which is very rare phenomenon. Why? Because there is sum of the vapor pressure is very high. As a result, the sum of the boiling point is less. That means maximum vapor pressure for this mixture will be at this composition. That is why it has a minimum boiling point. Maximum vapor pressure, this mixture. I told you in yesterday class likewise the graph, upward graph. So this has maximum vapor pressure and minimum boiling point. This is the important composition. This is called positive deviation. This is an example of minimum boiling point. So for example, it is minimum boiling point azeotrope. It is minimum boiling point azeotrope. Look at another example, example 2. 68% nitric acid, 68% nitric acid, and remaining 32% water. Water boiling point is 100 degrees. Nitric acid boiling point is 82 degrees. This is an example of maximum boiling point liquid. Maximum boiling point azeotrope. That means negative deviation in vapor pressures. This mixture will boil at a temperature greater than both liquids. The temperature of nitric acid boiling point is 82 degrees centigrade. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. Now tell me at which temperature it boils? Definitely greater than its constituent liquids. What is the maximum boiling point here? 100 degrees. So it boils at more than 100 degrees centigrade. Generally, the water should not boil more than 100. It boils at generally 100 degrees. And nitric acid is added. The water also boils more than 100 degrees. Therefore, this is an example of maximum boiling point azeotrope because it is a negative deviation. That means at this percentage, the vapor pressure is minimum. The vapor pressure is minimum because we have seen the graph likewise, negative deviation. So at this composition, the vapor pressure is minimum, therefore boiling point will be maximum. So similarly, we can write this mixture has boiling point greater than constituent liquids, constant boiling point of the liquids. This is the case. This is the boiling point of the constant liquids. Okay, right? You can write like this. So these are the two cases. So one is the azeotropic mixture, that is nothing but a constant boiling mixture. In some cases, it has a low boiling point mixture. In other cases, it has a high boiling point mixture. There is one more case we have to discuss. So far, we discussed gas in liquids, that is Henry's law. Liquids in liquids, that is also Raoult's law. Third case, solids in liquids. So we have to go for the solids in liquids. Solids in liquids. For example, consider this is also explained by Raoult's law. Consider this beaker having water. That is solvent. Solvent. The solvent undergoes evaporation. And after a certain time, this vapor will condense back and causes that pressure that is called vapor pressure. That is called vapor pressure. If you only solvent, the vapor pressure is called vapor pressure of that solvent, that is P naught. If I add some sugar or some salt, some urea, sugar, salt and urea are non-volatile. Non-volatile means they will not evaporate. Sugar never evaporates. Urea never evaporates. These are called non-volatile solids. If solute of non-volatile, what is the meaning of volatile? Evaporating, non-volatile is added. Then what happens to the solvent molecules on the surface? The solvent molecules on the surface will decrease. Why? Because the surface is also occupied by solute molecules like this. Because we are adding sugar, not only on the surface, here also sugar particles will be there. That is solute. These dots are solute particles. So what happens to the evaporating rate of the solvent? Decreases. So when solute is added, which is a non-volatile, that means it never evaporates, to the solvent, then the surface of the solvent is occupied by the solute particles. Finally, the solvent does not evaporate easily. That means it does not produce vapor easily. Hence, the vapor pressure of the solution decreases. If solvent is easily evaporating, the vapor phase will be more. And as a result, the pressure is also more. Now, what happens? The solute decreases the vapor. Therefore, when solute is added to the solvent, that is called solution. If without solute, then it is called solvent. Then there is a relation between solvent and solute. Solvent has more vapor pressure than solution, because when solute is added to the solvent, the solution gets lower vapor pressure. That means we are comparing the vapor pressure of the solute and solution here. We know Raoult's law. What is that? Vapor pressure of the solution is directly proportional to mole fraction of solvent. Vapor pressure of the solution, PS, is directly proportional to mole fraction of the solvent. Vapor pressure of the solution is equal to mole fraction of the solvent into P naught A. Now look at this. If only solvent is present, no solute, only solvent is present, then mole fraction of XA becomes 1. If 1 is there, vapor pressure of pure solvent is nothing but solution, because solution is not available there. Only it is actually solvent. Why? I'm once again explaining. This is a solvent mole fraction. If solvent mole fraction is 1, what does it indicate? It indicates there is no solute. Then only solution becomes a solvent. In such a case, this becomes 1. This is also becoming solvent. This is the vapor pressure of the solvent in pure state. Therefore, this law is right. So vapor pressure of the solution is directly proportional to mole fraction of the solvent. This is a mole fraction of the solvent. Mole fraction of the solvent. So this can be written, this proportion now. PS is equal to, in terms of solvent, it can be converted into solute also. Then we know that XA plus XB is always equal to 1. Mole fraction of solvent plus mole fraction of solute is equal to 1. This is we know. Therefore, here I am converting this into solute particles. PS is equal to 1 minus XB. 1 minus XB into P naught A. Into P naught A. Right? This is the vapor pressure of the solvent. This is the vapor pressure of the solution. This is the moles of solute. Right? Moles of solute. Where XB is equal to mole fraction of solute. Now, PS is equal to P naught A minus P naught A into XB. P naught A into XB. Right? It can be written like this. P naught, that means solvent, P naught A, or just solvent, because it is just a solvent, or you can write P naught A minus PS is equal to P naught A into XB. P naught minus PS by P naught is equal to XB, that is P naught A, or pure solvent. P naught means it is a pure solvent, XB. So this is P naught minus PS, or P naught A minus PS. A is a solvent, mole fraction, right? This is called lowering of vapor pressure. This is the lowering of vapor pressure. For example, if P naught has vapor pressure 100, PS has vapor pressure less than 100. Why? Because when solute is added, what happens to the vapor pressure of the solvent? Decreases. So solution has always less vapor pressure than solvent. Therefore, this is the solvent vapor pressure. Let it be 100. Therefore, solution vapor pressure should be less than 100. This difference is called lowering. Lowering means decreasing. Lowering of vapor pressure is equated to this. Now, this equation can be, this is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. The ratio is nothing but relative. Therefore, this term is equal to mole fraction of the solute. This term is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering of vapor pressure, simply termed as RLVP. RLVP. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of solute. This is also Raoult's law. So from this, it is finally stated like this. So relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of solute. Also, another form of Raoult's law. Raoult's law. This is also another form of Raoult's law. Previously, we explained in case of liquids in liquids. Now it is solids in liquids. Now it is solids in liquids. Here, different statements can be written like this. Look at this. This is lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure. This is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure depends on temperature or independent? Tell me. Lowering of vapor pressure. This is the lowering of vapor pressure. This value depends on mole fraction of solute. Mole fraction does not depend on temperature. Why? Because mole fraction means weight by molecular weights. Both are solids. If you increase the temperature, the weight does not change. If you decrease the temperature, the weight does not change. Because weight never changes with respect to temperature. What changes? Volume can be changed. With the increase of temperature, volume may be increased. Therefore, here, what term is this? Mole fraction of solute. So, lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure is, if this is 1, is proportional to P. This changes with the change of temperature or not? Definitely. Vapor pressure of any liquid increases with increase of temperature. Therefore, if this increases, this also increases. Lowering of vapor pressure depends on temperature. Why? Because this factor depends on temperature. Now, relative lowering of vapor pressure independent of temperature. Mole fraction independent of temperature. Molality also independent of temperature. What is molality? Number of moles per kg solvent. So molality is independent of temperature. Mole fraction is independent of temperature. Relative lowering of vapor pressure is independent of temperature. Lowering of vapor pressure depends on LVP. Lowering of vapor pressure depends on temperature. So likewise, these are the 4 important factors that depends on temperature. Right? RLVP is equal to mole fraction of solute. This RLVP is P naught minus PS by P naught is equal to mole fraction of solute small n by small n plus capital N. In a solution, mole fraction of solute. What is small n? Number of n is equal to number of moles of solute. Capital N is equal to number of moles of solvent. That is P naught minus PS by P naught, that is a relative lowering of vapor pressure, is equal to small n by capital N. For dilute solutions, that means The amount of solvent is very high. The amount of solvent is very high. In such a case, small n plus capital N becomes capital N. Therefore, small n plus capital N is almost equal to capital N. Now this can be written as P naught minus Ts by P naught is equal to weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into molecular weight of solvent by weight of solvent. This is for dilute solutions.